Hi, I'm Fast, and this is the Bird Up strategy by J Guns for Virizion, given to you by the Council. To access this raid, you have to complete OT decks and finish all 5 regions as any other 6-star raids. The den is fairly accessible. You just fly over to Nakreen City and head over to Pinwheel Forest, so just follow the path my character is walking right now. You don't really need any HMs, but it might be nice to take with you a repel. I will go through all of the mechanics as they come along during the raid footage, but an important note is that all of the Pokemon that is the same over the different positions should have the same final stat on the defenses, so that the AI don't focus target one and it dies before the others. The first mechanic in this raid, as you will see in the battle log, is Virizion prances across the battlefield with speed and grace. Its moves are captivating its foes. This means that it will outspeed every single one of your Pokemon, no matter what, except if they have the Oblivious ability. This does not apply for its ads. Also, you need to make sure that even if you have Oblivious, you will need to outspeed the base that's off the Virizion if you want to hit it before it attacks. In this first round, we are using Oblivious Jinx to bypass Virizion's mechanic. Lucky Chant will make sure that no crits are landed on your party, Reflect will lower the physical damage taken on your side, and the Trick Flame Orb inflicts burn status on Virizion at the end of the turn. Burn makes the Pokemon take a little bit of damage each turn and lower the physical damage dealt by Virizion. The Jinxes will take all of the moves from Virizion, allowing Toxicroak to only need to tank one move from Farfetch, letting it deal a decent amount of damage to Virizion right before. When we now go into turn 2, we will set out 3 Skarmories to do a decent amount of damage with Brave Bird, and our Toxicroak from turn 1 should still be alive. An important note to keep in mind here is that Toxicroak needs to be able to outspeed Farfetch, as it do get targeted by Virizion. It will be lowered pretty decently by Virizion and then taken out by Farfetch, and in between these attacks you will need to hit the last aerial ace. You might notice that I am speeding up the footage of this raid to match the amount of information I need to spew out in each turn, so if you do need to pause it at any point to read more information on the screen, you can feel free to do that. The attacks in this turn will get Virizion down to 86 HP. This will trigger the second mechanic of the raid, which is Light Screen, that need 2 Brick Breaks or Defogs to break. At the end of this turn, you should lay a little bit over 80% HP on the boss. Now that we go into turn 3, P4 will also throw out a Skarmory. This one will be targeted down, but it should live till the end of the turn. During this turn, you will see an animation where the text Virizion is storing its energy. This indicates the third mechanic of the raid, which activates at 76% HP. This will make type effectiveness alternate between normal and inverted every other turn starting from the next turn. I will speed up turn 5 quite drastically because we're just gonna see the Skarmory click basically any move and Virizion kill them. None of the Skarmories will live this turn, and if it do live, you have done something wrong, aka most likely you have forgotten to equip Life Orb. In turn 5, you are all gonna use the Raptors. Turn 5 has a lot of important notes to cover. First one being that the Farfetch on the right side do have Defiant. This will make any lowered stat on Farfetch increase its attack. This means that it's super important that your right side Raptors do have Reckless, while your left side Raptors do have Intimidate. The Intimidate will proc on Gallade and Virizion, making the sword dance that will come this round at 61% HP just equal their attack out instead of giving it +2. I highly recommend that you take a proper read on the build flexibility on the strat document for these Staraptors. I in general recommend that you check out the entire document before asking any question anyways, but when it comes to Staraptor, you need to be within specific stat requirements. In short, what this means for you is that all of the Staraptors need to be within a certain amount of total stat points in HP and defense for none of them to be targeted down and die early. If one of your Raptors gets targeted down, it is most likely the weak point of your link. The key ingredient to make all the Raptors live this turn is the Chouty Berry. It simply makes the AI not see Stonage as a viable attack this turn. Turn 6 that we're going into now is mostly the same exact as what happened in turn 4. We are not looking to do any damage this turn whatsoever, but if for any reason any of our final gambits hit, that is great, but it's absolutely not necessary. Final Gambit works about the same way as Explosion do, making certain that all our Pokemon do die this turn, which is really important for the next part of the strategy. On turn 7, we are refreshing Lucky Chant with a Jinx and P4 to make sure that we do not get any critical hits on our Pokemon. Jinx equipped Focus Sash will make it take 2 hits, while the P1 and P2 Gliscor will tank the other 2. If your P3 Gliscor takes any attacks from Virizion this turn, that means that your EVs are off. Once we hit past 41% HP on the Virizion this turn, you will trigger Reflect, which is the second to last mechanic of this raid. Just as Light Screen earlier, it will need 2 Brick Breaks or Defogs to break. At the end of this turn, you should be around 35% HP on Virizion. Going into turn 8, neither P1 or P2 Gliscor will survive to do any attacks at the end of the round. While the P3 Gliscor will use Brick Break to do the first out of the 2 Brick Breaks we will use to break Reflect. Metagross's job, on the other hand, is simply to trick another Flame Orb over to Virizion so that we again can achieve the Burn status condition. This turn in itself doesn't do very much damage, since the only damage we're really doing is a new Burn Tick and a Brick Break, but it do give us good opportunities further on. And with those opportunities into turn 9, we will have a Brick Break from the Metagross P1 that will be the final straw to break the Reflect set up by Virizion earlier. Our P2 Metagross is going to use Reflect so that we will take less damage from the physical moves of Virizion and its adds. While this turn, in comparison to last turn, the right side, P3 and P4, will die without getting any attacks off. A important note here is that you need to have Jaboka Berry on P1 and P2 Metagross, which allows P4 Metagross to be targeted over them. We are now going into turn 10, which will be the last turn where we really have to think. For this turn, we will have Illumise tank 1 hit before it gets off its charm that will last until the end of next turn. It's also very important here that your P4 Garchomp do have Earthquake as the only Garchomp that will ever hit that move. Other than that, this turn is pretty simple, having your Metagross use Explosion to clear the field, making room for your next Garchomps. You will most likely only have one of the explosions actually go off, but if you do get both, that is just extra damage, making it easier to clear. From this point on, I will just speed up the whole video extremely much. All you will have to see here is the Garchomps getting attacked, getting proc the Rough Skin and the Rocky Helmet on Virizion, doing quite a lot of damage with that. Other than that, you're just clicking dig over and over and over again until you win. If you still have any questions after watching this guide and reading through the document, you can always go to the Raid Den to see if anyone has answers for you. The Raid Den is a very knowledgeable and very helpful community that is very interested in all the raids. With this, I will say thank you so much for watching. I am Fast. I am usually easy to find live on Twitch. If you want to pop by and say hi, I will be posting more raid strats soon, and there is some that is already up, so feel free and take a look. Thank you so much for your time, and good luck on your raid.